bet moment at the Christmas party reminds us how little we truly know about the people around us. When she signed those divorce papers, tears in her eyes. No one saw privilege or power. They saw a woman breaking under the weight of a personal ending. Her identity as a billionaire's daughter didn't announce itself, and it didn't matter in that instant. Pain doesn't check bank accounts or family names before it arrives. We often assume that wealth creates distance from hardship, but real life doesn't work that way. Heartbreak humbles everyone equally, and suffering has a way of stripping away titles, status, and expectations. In that room, she wasn't an heiress or an untouchable figure. She was simply human, navigating a deeply painful choice in front of others who never knew the full story. And that is the uncomfortable truth we must sit with behind every visible moment. There is a hidden life we rarely stop to imagine. Christmas parties are supposed to be loud with laughter, full of lights, music, and carefully practiced smiles. They are designed to celebrate togetherness, to convince us that joy is the default setting of the season. But that night, the contrast was impossible to ignore. While glasses clinked and carols played in the background, a life was quietly unraveling at the edge of the room. It's easy to assume that happiness fills every corner of a celebration, yet so many people are simply performing it, holding themselves together for the sake of the moment. Social gatherings often reward appearances, not honesty, and pain learns how to wait its turn. Her tears didn't interrupt the party. They revealed what the party was hiding. And maybe that's the lesson. Joy can be loud, but suffering is often sitting right beside it, unseen. When moments like that unfold in public, judgment often arrives faster than understanding. A few glances, a few quiet assumptions, and a story is quickly written in people's minds. Some may have seen drama, others weakness, maybe even attention-seeking, because it's easier to label than to wonder. What no one considered was the weight of everything that led her there. The private conversations, the long nights, the choices that didn't make it into that room. We forget how incomplete our view really is. We judge the final scene without knowing the chapters that came before it. And the truth is, most of us carry invisible histories that would change how we're seen if they were ever fully known. The moment we pause our judgment and replace it with curiosity, something shifts. Compassion becomes possible, and humanity becomes clearer. There's a quiet kind of strength in allowing yourself to be seen when everything inside you wants to disappear. Signing those divorce papers in a room full of people wasn't a performance. It was an act of resolve. Vulnerability is often mistaken for fragility, but in truth, it takes far more courage to face an ending than to avoid it. She could have hidden, delayed, or pretended for the comfort of others, yet she chose honesty over convenience. That choice required standing in discomfort, accepting tears, and moving forward anyway. Strength doesn't always look like confidence or control. Sometimes it looks like shaking hands and a breaking voice that refuses to back down. In moments like these, vulnerability becomes a form of power, not because it's loud, but because it's real. And real strength is found in the courage to move forward, even while trembling. There's a common belief that money acts as a shield, that it softens every blow life delivers. But emotional pain doesn't recognize wealth or status, and it doesn't negotiate. As a billionaire's daughter, she had access to comfort, privacy, and security. Yet, None of that could spare her from heartbreak. Loss still hurts, endings still sting, and choices still carry weight. You can buy silence, space, and distractions, but you can't purchase peace when a relationship falls apart. In moments like these, wealth becomes irrelevant, almost invisible, because the heart responds the same way no matter how full the bank account is. This truth quietly levels us all. It reminds us that beneath our differences, we share the same emotional language: grief, hope, fear, and resilience. And perhaps that realization should make us gentler with one another, knowing pain makes no exceptions. In the end, that moment wasn't just about what she lost, but about what she chose to reclaim. Walking away from a broken relationship is never easy, especially when the world is watching. But it often marks the first step towards self-respect. By signing those papers, she wasn't admitting defeat. She was choosing herself. New beginnings rarely arrive wrapped in celebration. They often come through grief, uncertainty, and hard decisions that moment wasn't just about what she lost, but about what she chose to reclaim. Walking away from a broken relationship is never easy, especially when the world is watching, but it often marks the first step towards respect. By signing those papers, she wasn't admitting defeat. She was choosing herself. New beginnings rarely arrive wrapped in celebration. They often come through grief, uncertainty, and hard decisions that no one applauds. Yet within that choice lies quiet hope. Independence grows where courage is exercised and dignity is rebuilt, one brave step at a time. Her story reminds us that endings are not failures, but transitions. And sometimes the most powerful thing a person can do is let go of what no longer serves them. Because when self-worth leads the way, even the most painful goodbye can open the door to a stronger tomorrow.